Do you want to know how to replicate these New York Joe style edits from the notorious video K-Flock Shake It? Well, you're in the right place. My name's Cam, I'm a VFX artist from the UK, and today we're going to be going through that video, how they've done all the edits on it, and how you can replicate near enough the same thing. So, no more talk, let's get straight into the breakdown. Let's go. So, welcome to the breakdown for the Shake It video that was made for K-Flock, which is still popping to this day. I believe it's around 80 million views or so, popping. Okay, so going into number one, we've got the isolation effect. They're used mainly on the Cardi B clips. I can put them up on the screen right now. Now, to be honest guys, this effect is very simple. I've labeled all these three over here as beginners and then the text animation as intermediate. So, isolation effect, very easy. Let's head into After Effects now. So this is the isolation effect that I have made. It's near enough the exact same thing. So let me show you lot how I've done this. So let me delete my clips. Back to square one. So essentially, first thing I need you guys to do before anything is get yourself a clip. Now you can see we need to isolate Cardi B's hair, but we have other red things in the video. Hoods, jackets, hats, the whole lot. So how do we cut them guys out? So first thing we need to do is press Ctrl D and we need to make a new mask. Now guys, there's so many ways of doing this, but I'm just going to be showing you guys a very basic and easy version. If you wanted to get it perfect, I'd highly recommend using the Rotoscope instead. But if you just want a quick version, just follow what I'm doing right now. It's just a quick mask using the pen tool. Go around the layer that you want to isolate. Then go down into that layer, masks, go into the mask again, mask 1. Then click the keyframe on mask path, the stopwatch. So, you're going to have a little keyframe pop up. Then just carry on throughout the video. Make sure you are already clicked on mask path and just move around the mask so it essentially follows the hair around or follows whatever the subject is for you. So for me, I'm just going to quickly mask through this now. Like I said, you don't have to be 100% accurate unless you're doing some mad project, but this for me works more than good enough. So now what I'm going to do is go and add in a leave color to the top layer. Yeah. Now, before we do anything, go to the bottom layer and add in a Lumetri color, yeah? Once you've done that, go into basic correction and drop the saturation down to 0. Now you notice that now we just have a massive weird gap in color. So first thing we're going to do is on the mask, then you're going to go down to mask feather and just add as much as needed for it to blend pretty nicely. Remember, you're not going to see any of this color anyways, because now you're going to be using the leave color. So essentially you need to tweak your settings until you find something you're happy with. So guys, there are my final settings. Again, it's not perfect, but again, I'm not going for perfect. If you want perfect, use a roto brush and spend more time on the leave color. But those are my final settings for this clip specifically. You lot, it's as easy as that. But if you wanted to add in a nice fade, let me show you how you can do that as well. So, first thing you're going to do is go onto your amount to decolor and set the stopwatch for that. I'm going to have mine pretty much start around here. Then I'm going to go all the way back to the start of it and put it to 0%, okay? Then I'm going to go back to my bottom clip, and where we set the 100% on the decolor, I'm going to go to saturation, put it to 0 over there. And then at the start, I'm going to add it back to 100. So there we have it. We have a nice little fade from color to an isolation effect, pretty much just like how it was done in the video. So guys, the second one, which is also another beginner one, believe me, you won't realize how easy it actually is. The glowing eyes effect. So let's chop straight back in to After Effects. Okay guys, so I didn't use a clip from the video this time because I couldn't find anything stable enough. So I just used a clip from a different music video from V9. As you can see, when I turn it off, there's a pretty big difference, okay? So let's go straight into how I done it. So all I really did was press Ctrl D to duplicate the clip, and then I decided to roto brush out the eyes. You can do it as a mask if you want, but that would just be 10 times the hassle. I wouldn't recommend it. So essentially mask out the eyes, wait for it to do its thing, and then play it through and just make sure everything's okay. So guys, that's what mine looks like afterwards. Just make sure to press freeze and then you'll be alright for the next step. So now you'll have 2 layers and it'll look the exact same, but here's where the step starts. So you can add in a normal After Effects glow, but what I think they used and I think looks the best out of everything is deep glow, which is pretty much what a lot of VFX editors I know personally use as well. And that looked like what the most obvious thing for it was, but I could be wrong. So going through it, I'm just going to lower the radius and up the brightness. And as you can see, we've got already a nice white glow. That looks cool in itself. But we wanted it red just like the video. So you're going to go down to tint, enable, and it's already red for you. So then you can see you can up the brightness and then up the radius as well, and you can see that's it done. But there's something missing. As you can see in the video itself, the deep glow doesn't go all the way to the end of the actual pupil itself, and that's because there's a feather on the roto brush. So if I go back into this video, go into a frame where you can see it best, just like here, you're going to add in a feather as much as you need. So you can have it just like an actual eye itself, which is pretty cool, or you can have just a nice little rounding of the eye. So about 24 looks alright for me, and there we go, that's it done. If you wanted it to blend in a bit more and you already have this plugin, it's not necessary. You can add in a RSMB Pro, okay? I feel that makes it integrate into the scene much better with the motion blur, and overall just makes it smoother. But this isn't necessary, so you don't need it, but it makes it better. But there we go, that's the glow done. Now on to the next one. Oh guys, one of my favorite ones that I use, especially when I was a beginner VFX editor as well. I use this one so much, I just love it, and I still love it to this day. It just depends on the video that you use it on. So, Rotoscope effects, okay, very popular, especially in the time this video came out. They still are kind of popular today, but not as popular as back then. But, still very relevant, so I'm going to show you guys anyway. So guys, this is what we're actually going to be doing, this really sick little Roto slide effect, and I'm going to show you how I've done this now. First thing we need to do is press Ctrl D, and you need to rotoscope out your subject, okay? So you're probably not using the same clip as me because I'm using a clip from the music video just to actually try and get you something that looks relevant, and pretty much going through it like this. You can see that the roto brush isn't that hard of a thing to do once you get the hang of it, and then just play through it and make sure it all matches up. Luckily, the roto brush matches the shake, which is if you're working on your own footage or someone else's project, you won't have that issue, but if you're working on top of someone else's already edited music video, you may have that. So, you can see, the roto brush has worked completely fine. I'm now going to press freeze. If I haven't said already, this basically locks it in so you don't have to render it every single time you play it back, which can be a very big hassle and just takes extra time. So now you got your roto layer. I highly recommend adding a bit of feather in just to make it a bit smoother. Now you're going to add to the bottom layer a plugin called Offset, okay? Now this comes with After Effects already, so you don't have to worry about paying anything, it's completely free. So, you're going to go Shift Center and keyframe that, and because we're doing a slide up animation, I'm going to lift this up, just like this. I'm going to bring it to something like, I don't know, 3,700, that works for me, but I'm actually going to line it up, just so it matches pretty cool as well. So, that works for me, I'm pretty happy with that. If we play it through, you may be thinking, well that doesn't look right. And you'd be right. So the first thing you want to do, there's two methods of doing this, and I like to combine both. The paid version and the free version. The free version is adding in a directional blur, just to kind of blur this hard edge here. Keep it on the up direction and just blur it, and there you go. There you go, you're done. You see, I think that's quite slow, so I'm actually going to up it even more, just like this. That's more like it. Yeah, so you can do it just like that, or you can do what I do and pretty much lower it down a little bit more and then add in a RSMB Pro if you have it. Like I said, look how much smoother it makes it, just so much better. And that's it, pretty much done guys, but one thing I will also do is add in a nice little flash transition. You don't have to do this, it's completely optional, but to me, it makes it so much better. Now what I'm going to do guys is add in a new actual flash transition. You don't have to do it, you can use whatever you'd like, but for me it really just makes the effect 10 times better. So playing through that, that's way better to me. I'm happy with how that's turned out. Let's move on to the last and final effect. Hey, hold on. Just a quick reminder, more than 80% of you lot aren't even subscribed to the channel. I put a lot of effort into these, just trying to teach you guys what I know and how you guys can improve your VFX game. So if you appreciate the content, I'd appreciate it if you like, comment and subscribe. No more re-begging now, yeah, I know, no more re-begging, so let's get straight back into it, yeah, cool. So that's the beginner effects pretty much done. I hope you guys learned something from that. Now it's time for the big guns, yeah. The ones that a lot of people have been asking me to do recently is like these cool text effects that come up and they're basically tracked to certain parts of the body and stuff. Let me show you guys how to do that now. So this is the one I'm going to be showing you guys how to do today. It's really similar to how it is in the video, except I haven't used the fire. Main reason I haven't used the fire is because I haven't got an exact copy of that fire, and I wanted to make it as similar to the actual video as possible for you guys. So no more talk, let me show you how I've done it. So essentially I've just deleted all my clips there and I've split the video where I want the effect to begin. Now from there, the first thing I'm going to do is add in a new text layer just like this. Then I'm going to type in whatever I'd like. So I want it to be 300. Okay, I'm using the font Baybas New, which is a free font, and then I'm also using a red color. What I'm going to do now is add in motion blur to start with and make it a 3D layer. Make sure all of them are 3D layers and have motion blur enabled. You'll see why in a second. You'll notice with a lot of the scenes inside this video that they're not 3D trackable. There's just so much going on the screen that it's just a hassle to 3D track. So I think I figured out what they've done, and it's something I've done in the past as well on videos. So one thing I'd advise doing before anything is actually moving the anchor point to the middle of your text layer. So if I move the scale right now, you'll see it's not scaling from the middle, which is what we want. So I'm going to use the anchor point on the properties tab and bring it down until it pretty much is in the center. So now if I modify the scale, you can see it's moving from the center, which is what we needed. Now once you're happy with the size, the color and everything, we're going to be adding in some modifiers. So go into the drop down menu of the 300 or whatever your text is, then go onto animate, yeah? Now once you clicked animate, go onto opacity and click that. Now once you've done that, I want you to go into the drop down menu of range selector, and then I want you to put the opacity, which was underneath that, to 0. So now when I move the start underneath range selector, it's kind of giving us that fade in animation that you see inside this video. And like you can see in a lot of these videos, especially this clip here, it's not 3D trackable. I've already tried 3D tracking it and it just didn't work. So it's going to have to be done manually. And because it's such a short clip, like you see with this video already, there's a lot of clips, a lot of edits, but the clips are very short, so the edits are very short. So it's not as taxing to manually track it. So I'm going to track it to the guy's hand who's holding up his little gone finger. That works for me. So I'm just going to move the 300 just to where his hand is, yeah? Now I'm going to press P on the position keyframe just like this. And go forward and just track my way through it just like this. Keep moving it about. So now that's pretty cool. Next thing we need to do is add in the animations. Go back into your text animator that we did earlier. As remember what I was telling you guys, animator 1, range selector 1. Keep the opacity at 0 and you're going to be using the start one. So keyframe the start of 100% and move that further forward. Then bring it down to 0. So there you can see it's slowly fading in, just like this. I'm going to press S to open up the scale. Bring it forward just like this. And up the scale just like this. Now I'm going to press U to reveal all the layers and press F9. Just so it smoothens out and eases in and out the keyframes. So there you go guys, that's the text done, but it's not the exact same as before. So let's add a couple more things and we're nearly done. So guys, I'm going to be showing you what I believe the actual effects they used were for the text. So they used deep glow, I believe, and then I'm lowering down the radius like this and also lowering down the exposure, just so it's a nice little haze. Then I'm also going to add in Sapphire's flicker effect. If you can't afford Sapphire, which is very understandable because of how expensive it is, and you can't find it anywhere online, wink wink, basically I've already done a tutorial on how to get a free flicker effect just in stock After Effects with no plugins, no nothing, completely free. So if you want to check that out, I'll leave it in the description at the top link. So go check that out if you want to. So I'm going to be using my flicker effect or whatever flicker effect that you're going to be using. So you can either use that effect from that video or you can use the Sapphire one, which is what I'll be using. I'm going to up the amplitude to about 1.7. That's fine for me. And you can see that's giving it the nice flicker effect that you see for the text in that video. So guys, with our scale, you can see we go from nothing all the way up to about, let's say about 195%. That's fine by me. I'm going to go a bit more down and just lower it a little bit. That gives it the effect of it popping out, then back in a little bit. So you can see when I play it now, it's not as obvious. But why is that? So now we need to highlight all of these, go into the graph editor and make this a smooth curve. So just like this, highlight the right one, drag this left, highlight this one and drag it right, just like this. So you can see it makes this nice little smooth curve. So make sure all of these are 3D and make sure they're all on motion blur. Right click, new camera, make sure it's a 2-node camera and that'll work best. Press OK. So guys, I lowered down the scale of the keyframes just a little bit because I know we're going to be zooming into it, but keep the exact same method. So now go onto the camera layer, drop down, transform, and then keyframe point of interest, position and orientation. Go a bit more forward now to wherever you feel it looks best. Then use the dolly tool to zoom into the 300 or whatever your text is. Then you're going to be adding in a rotation. So for me it's the Z value because that basically does the tilting. So all I'm going to do is go into the last value here and simply drag it wherever I want. I want it to go a bit to the right like this, so that's fine by me. And you can see that's that done, but the camera animation is not smooth. So how do we fix that? You're going to go and highlight all of these, press F9 on all of them, just to smoothen them out. Go into the graph editor, highlight all of them on the right and drag it to the left so it's a sharp curve, just like that. So guys, I got the text animation as similar as I could for you without the fire. Now let's go back to the storyboard and have a look again. So if we're being honest, if we're using an Arri Alexa or an Arri Mini Alexa and shooting on Kodak film at the same time, whether they're renting it or not, it's going to be a lot of money. It's going to be a lot of money for sure. So it's definitely a high budget video, let me say that. But from VFX side, guys, I've shown you guys how you can do this on a relatively low budget, if not zero budget. So I've done my part in that sense. But if you want to try and replicate how they shot it exactly, you're going to need a bit of money. But you can also just improvise with what you've got and just do your best. We've come to the end of another video, guys. Hope you all enjoyed it. More importantly, I hope you learned something. Make sure you're implementing everything you're doing. Practice some edits. Get the work in so you can nail down exactly what you want. If you want to see any other tutorials, they're all on my page. And I'll catch you lot in the next video. Love.